Hello, Scorpio. Thank you for tuning in. This is your love read. For the main read, I'm using the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor, and for the supportive cards, the Angel Answer cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. All right, relationship. All right, we're gonna do you first. What is going on here? Alright, so we're going to stick with these because I'm getting we should stick with these and see what's going on. Alright, so what is going on here? Now, for your partner, they have Angel of Balance. For you, you have Walking Away. These are the things holding things back. So your partner's trying to do what's right, what they feel is fair. And I feel like you're emotionally disconnected at this point. That's where it seems to be where we're starting out with. I feel like that's what's not helping the situation. I feel like there's problems going on here in the sense of like arguments. Because I'm seeing like the next thing coming in for you is a storm warning and the broken heart. And this actually I feel is a reaction to your partner with the sacral chakra here. Nope. Solar plexus chakra. It's the yellow chakra. This is like, I feel like they're standing up and they're saying what they feel, and they're being very loyal to how they feel, and they're not backing down. And I feel like you're getting a lot of pushback, a lot of what they want, what they're going to do. They're deciding what they're going to do, and it feels like it's making things very turbulent for you. That being said, you have the world on their side as well. I feel like this is becoming... the stronger they get and the more they stand up for what they want, and they just seem to be very stubborn and they're not moving on it, the harder that becomes for you. But I feel like this is something that they feel they have to do. There's a kind of a rough reading for Cancer too, and for Pisces. I'm wondering if we're going to... I'm a water sign too. I'm Pisces, so I'm wondering if all us water signs, at least the ones I'm connecting with, are going to have like a rough couple weeks here. Because I'm seeing on the next one, you got adjacent possibilities and door to personal happiness for your partner. So that being said, that seems to be where it kind of ends up. But I'm not sure, like, let's go a little farther, because even though that's happening, and they seem to be going through these other opportunities, it seems like they're still connected with you, and they're still... This is what's helping them. They're still connected with you, and they're thinking things out. They're thinking it through. What's helping you, it says the woman holding a coin, which makes me feel like you're very stable, and I don't feel like this... I feel like you're still there. You're still in it. Nothing is... I don't feel like anything's ending here. But there's a rest and relaxation. Is that rest and rejuvenation? Rest and rejuvenation here. I feel like you're taking a time out and you're just not arguing about it anymore. You're giving yourself a break and you're giving them time to think. And this isn't something they can just go forward and do what they want. But I feel like they're digging in their heels and they're like saying, this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to be. And I feel like it's all centered around them, and the decisions they're making is all around them. Like, they're not really adding you into it. I feel like that's why the heartbreak is here on your side, because you realize you're not being considered in the decision they're making, and it's bothering you. But I notice you have the woman holding a coin, and you have the man holding a coin on your side. This is in your spiritual sense. Like I always say, don't get caught up in the genders, but it's basically telling me you're very cemented in this relationship. And even though you're very upset and you're hurt, like this is hurting your feelings that they're not considering you, you're still not going anywhere and you're sticking into the relationship. But you're very upset about how they're just very all about themselves and making decisions, and they're not really seeming to be worried or considering how this decision they're making is affecting you. And I feel like it's bothering you mostly because you don't feel like you're being considered. You're not being, like, honored with your part of this relationship. And it's almost like they're handling this decision as if they were single, and that's really bothering you. Now, on the spiritual sense on your partner's side, I do get the angel of patience here. Well, that's an angel anyway. It says patience, so that's how I interpret that. So in other words, I feel like they need some time to, like, really go through things. That is a clock in the center there, so that makes sense. I feel like time is making them slow down. Like this, they can't just have what they want like that. It's going to take some time. And it feels like because they're all tied up and they got the patience going on here, they have to, like, wait it out. Like, they can't just make this quick decision. It's going to take a little time. This is working in your favor for most of you. And they might find that there's a better way to do this. Something better, I feel like that's them. And it kind of comes down to your way after. They have to think and realize what they're going through here. And I feel like not during this time frame, like afterwards, like, because it's going to drag out for a while, the longer it drags out, the better it goes for you, because they start to realize, you know, like, I feel like they start to think more and they start to change. I feel like it might go a little ways out before they really start to change how they're thinking about this. I really feel like they're very kind of centered on what they want, and they're holding strong to it. They seem to have this thought that this is how it needs to be, and this is the right way to do it, and that's how they're going to do it, and that's just how it is. And they're not really adding you in. But I feel like afterwards, as they're waiting, as they have to wait for this to go forward, they're starting to realize, like, you know, like, they're starting to think it through. I feel like some things you've said to them are starting to sink in, and they're starting to realize, you know what, maybe this isn't right. Excuse me. And the longer it goes, I feel like it just kind of keeps coming. They have to. I think it seems like they're rethinking it and rethinking it and rethinking it, and they're just realizing how this is affecting you, how it's affecting their relationship. What are they doing to this relationship? Like, things seem to be changing in the long run, but it feels like it drags for a while, and it takes them a bit to get there. So you might have to, like, wait for a while before they finally realize. Like, I almost feel like they're treating this like they're treating your initial reaction as if you're having some type of tantrum or something, and it's just not that big a deal. But as time goes on and they really think about it, they start to realize, you know, all right, maybe there's more to that than I thought. And I feel like they're a little bit reluctant to do that, so it comes around through they have to think it over a few times. And that's why it seems like there's patience here and there's all tied up that seems to be working to your benefit, because the longer it goes, the more they think it over, the more they realize, you know what, I'm kind of being a little selfish here and I need to kind of relent a little, or I need to maybe rethink this and just see, you know, if I can get my partner on the same page or however they're feeling about this. Because it seems like initially they're just not connecting with how you feel. They're just not connecting with it, and they just feel like what they're doing is the right way, and the way you're reacting is just you're having a minute. It's like it's not connecting with them. Like, this is not considering how this is going to affect you, and they need to really think about this a little deeper. And as time goes on, they will. Again, I don't see this solving itself within a couple weeks time period. I feel like the longer it goes out, the better it goes for you. The longer they have to wait. Okay. Alright, so that's the couples for Scorpio, which, considering what I've seen so far, that's really not too bad, in my opinion. Because in the long run, it does seem to go in your favor. It's just, I just don't feel like they're seeing, I don't feel like your partner's really connecting with why it's a problem. Like, they don't seem to get it. Like, they seem to take it very nonchalantly, the way you're reacting. Like, they don't understand exactly how that's really, or they don't believe it's really that bad or something like that. Something weird. Alright, let's go into Scorpio singles. Scorpio singles. Let's do a Celtic cross for Scorpio singles. We got a couple double cards coming out here. That card. There's a couple cards, even though I'm shuffling them, I feel like I'm shuffling them pretty good. There's one card that likes to come out in most of my readings today. That's the all tied up card you got in the future here. So, I want to say as a spoiler, your final card here is a man holding a heart, which, again, like I always say, don't get caught up in the gender, but seems to be like an offer of love at the end. But not, we have to go through all this stuff first. I'm drawn to the past first. You got the Magician in the Mirror and the Journey. Like, I feel like somebody kind of walked away. Somebody changed their mind or walked away, and you felt like you had an opportunity, but they seemed to go a different direction. Especially with the Magician in the Mirror, I feel like you thought you could make things what you wanted, but then they seemed to, like, cut loose and go, which changed the whole situation. I'm also noticing the Magician in the Mirror. It makes me feel like that things are still possible. It's just there's like a time delay on the whole situation. Is that right? Yeah, okay. Now, what do we have as your overall? Because I feel like this is where it started, and like you had interest in somebody, and they just kind of... I feel like some of you anyway, you were interested in somebody, and then they got involved with somebody else, which kind of closed the door. And that's about to change, or somehow in the future that might change. Alright. Because I feel like that might be why you walked away, or why that ended, is because they chose someone else, and you're like, well, if there's someone else, then you made your choice. Your overall energy is the Angel of Balance and the Blossoming Abundance, which I feel like things are going back in your favor. Although, I'm noticing, like, in the center here, you have the solar plexus chakra. Is the yellow one? Yeah. And the anxiety card. I'm thinking when you watch this, it doesn't seem like a possibility is there. And it's something you'd really like to see happen, but you're not really seeing the possibilities at this point. You're feeling like you're barred from the situation. So I'm wondering if that relationship is... I feel like that relationship has ended, or whatever was keeping you from this person, I don't feel like that's a problem anymore, but you're still feeling like, you know, you walked away from me once. Like, why should... You know, I just don't want to get denied a second time. And you're feeling like even though the opportunity's there again... I feel like there's a little bit of stress there, like, you know, just because this person's available again, like, they had their chance once and they walked away. And I feel like that's weighing on you. But I'm also noticing the bottom card here, you're feeling like there are possibilities, you're just kind of like, but you already walked away from me once. I don't really know if I really want to... Like, you kind of feel like, you know... Am I being foolish by doing this? Am I kind of like... am I poisoning my own tea by just, you know, trying to do this and just to get the same result as I got before? And you seem to be worried about that. And it seems like all tied up, the next card here, which seems to be my best friend today for cards, that seems like you're just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure if this is going to work out in my favor. I feel like you're looking at this person like there's more baggage there than you knew the first time around. And you've learned more information about them since, and you're just like, you know what? First of all, you walked away from me that first time. Second of all, what if I do get you, but then you walk away after? Like, what if it's just... Maybe you're just like... short relationship person. Maybe it's not going to last that long, and just like, do I really want to do that? Like, I feel like there's like, you're feeling all of this, you're feeling restricted, like, do I really want this person? I'm getting like an itchy nose thing here. But I also feel like you're very attracted to them though. And that's why you're still thinking about it. And you're like, do I want to give this a shot? Now, it seems like you're remembering that this person broke your heart. even though it's a man holding a coin. Like I always say, don't get caught up in the gender, but basically it's saying that I feel like you're stuck on the past and this person broke your heart. Because I feel like the broken heart's in the past, but this is very indigenous of like a King of Pentacles to me. I'm not saying that's what they're trying to do in this deck, but that's how it feels to me. So it makes me feel like you're feeling that, and you're stuck feeling that. Like you're still feeling like, you know, you broke my heart once. I don't really want you to do it again. The thing is, in the environment, they have attachment. That person seems to be... I feel like they're aware that they made a bad decision. And I feel like they're aware also that you're not happy with them for it. So they seem to be quite concerned or a little bit apprehensive about coming towards you again, because they're very well aware of how you feel. I feel like they're very much, they know how you feel. But they are interested in trying with you. It's just, it seems to be a little labored. Like I feel like they're very aware of how you feel, for one reason or another. And they're apprehensive because of it. I'm noticing we're pulling this in at the end here. This is interesting. Where you're standing, you seem to be going, like it's an evolving situation. You start out as the thinking woman, which I think is why the anxiety is here and they're all tied up. I feel like that's all together. Like the anxiety, being loyal to yourself with the solar plexus chakra, and the all tied up, my best friend card today, for whatever reason. I feel like that's your thinking woman. That's like you're really thinking this over. You're just like, do I really want to do this to myself? Is there really anything there to have? And if I do, how long would it last? Like I feel like you're really thinking it through. A lot of worry, a lot of concern. But then the goddess of the moon seems to pop up, which this can be a very beautiful card, especially if it's like you have a moment. Like I feel like an emotional moment comes your way and you take action. Like I feel like you open the door to this person. You give this person the nod to where you're conducive to them. For some reason, especially with the goddess of the moon, I feel like there's just you just have a moment, and just like it's almost like a random thing, like impulsively you just they just catch your eye just the right way. You smile at them or whatever it is. You give them some type of nod to where, you know, you're conducive with talking with them or getting to know them again, or letting them have a shot with you again, and the door opens again. Especially when I see, like I gave you the spoiler here, the man holding a heart, which don't get caught up in the gender, blah, blah, blah. I feel like the offer comes towards you, but the reason the offer comes towards you is for some reason, especially I'm seeing this with the goddess of the moon in the action, you give some type of nod, you let them know it's okay. Somehow you let them know, some type of smile or something positive you do towards them, this person, and they come towards you. From there, it's in your court. This reading actually ends with them making that offer. Because even though you give them the nod, it is the goddess of the moon, which means you might show them favor and they come towards you with this opportunity, this invitation, offer of love, however you want to do it, but you still could deny it. It's up to you whether you're going to accept it or not. It's up to you whether it's worth the risk based on what you've seen and you've learned of this person, if it's worth putting your heart out there. But I am seeing genuine interest on their side, and I also see that they're stressed a little bit, so they're not taking this lightly. They're putting themselves out there, and I feel like this offer, like it might be the last offer, because if you tell them no, I feel like they're going to take that to heart, and they're going to be like, all right, you've closed the door, I don't want to bother you anymore. You said no, I believe you mean no, and I'm going to walk away. But if you say yes, like I feel like that means the world to this person, and they're going to do best foot forward. But I feel like left or right, like if you take this offer, I feel like it's going to go somewhere, and you're going to actually try and like go towards a relationship with this person. But if you say no, I feel like they take you for they take it very seriously. Like, you said no, you mean no, and they shut the door. Like, you said no, you mean no, and they walk away, and that's the end. So it's up to you which way you go with this. It's all based on how you feel about this person. But I think the big thing here is to know how that the offer is going to come your way, because I feel like this moment where you give this nod, it's just like a random out of the blue thing. And while you're going through the anxiety and feeling all tied up, you might want to decide whether you would or would not give this person another shot, because that might be your knee-jerk reaction. So if you definitely decide you're like no, and you go through all these reasons why it's a no, it might be your knee-jerk reaction when they give you this offer to be like, no, I don't think so, and that'll be the end of it. Or if you decide, I would like to try it, it's worth giving it a shot, my heart might get bruised, but I've picked myself up from worse. I'd rather find out and know than walk away from a possible good relationship. It's up to you. It's based how you feel. But like, I feel like the whole thing here is like, as you're going through this anxiety and feeling all tied up, like, you should go through the reasons why you would or would not. And just that way, when this moment comes and the offer comes, because I feel like you're going to give a quick answer, it's going to be based on how you felt going up to this moment. All right, I feel like we're good there. So I'm going to wrap up the single for Scorpio. If you'd like a reading from me, go ahead, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.